Well, let's move on to a very exciting story building up. Tata Digital is on a shopping spree. Pretty much every second day you hear of a new acquisition that the Tata Group's digital arm is making, and the latest happens to be 1mg. Before this, they have taken a stake in CureFit, which is the fitness app. They've also pretty much taken over Big Basket. 1mg is the latest. There are reports that Dunzo might be on the shopping list. So what really is the big picture and the plan here? My colleague Nayantara Rai breaks it down.
The Tatas have arrived late in the Indian startup scene and are trying to make that up by going on a shopping spree. It all began with Big Basket, in which it bought a majority stake for $1.2 billion earlier this year. E-grocery is super hot since COVID-19 is one of the biggest beneficiaries. In fact, Redseer, the consultancy firm, says this can grow to be a $24 billion market by 2025. E-pharmacy, also one of the biggest beneficiaries since the outbreak of the pandemic, and that meant the Tatas bought a majority stake in 1mg. It's interesting that Tatas don't only want to scale up the digital world of 1mg, but have ambitions of opening a pharmacy in every pin code across the country. The third investment by the Tatas, in fact, is a differentiator. It is CureFit. Tatas have pledged an investment of $75 million in CureFit. Now, all of this is being done actually by Tata Digital, a 100% subsidiary of Tata Sons. So who all are behind Tata Digital, who are powering it? You have to begin with Ratan Tata, Chairman Emeritus of Tata Sons. He actually recognized the value of startups long back. Believe it or not, he invested in Paytm even before you and I ever heard of Paytm, before demonetization in 2015. In the same year, Ratan Tata had also invested in Ola Cabs. His other investments include Cardeco, Lenskart, Snapdeal, Moglix, and many more. You're talking about digital and Tatas. Of course, you have to talk about N. Chandrasekaran, the current Tata Sons chairman, the man who built Tata TCS to be the behemoth that it actually is. Another individual powering Tata Digital has been a close aide of N. Chandra at TCS, Prateek Pal, who has been made the CEO and has had a 27-year-long career at TCS. And the newest one to join, Mukesh Bansal, one of the most respected names in the Indian startup space. He founded Myntra, sold it to Flipkart for $300 million in 2014. He's in fact also the man who started CureFit, in which the Tatas have pledged to invest $75 million. The Tatas know they can't have any shortcut to experience, so they get one of the best names out there as president. The game plan, of course, is to build consumer-centric digital businesses, make up for the late start with M&As. But the big challenge will be to actually leverage existing brands like Titan, Trent, Voltas, Taj Hotels. Super app, the jury's out on that. Will we have a super app? And it's going to be a big fight, ladies and gentlemen. The Tatas versus Amazon versus Reliance Industries versus Flipkart. So one can't help think, will the Tatas go after the Kirana like all the other conglomerates?
Right, super app or not, clearly the strategy seems to be one of creating a digital platform where the user spends more time. So one platform which fulfills all the needs that you may have. So whether you want to purchase groceries, work out, order something online, or even get your medicine or prescriptions filled online. That seems to be the larger trend. But are they too late to the party? To speak on this, I'm joined now by K. Ganesh, founder of The Growth Story, and Rehan Yar Khan, MP of Arise Venture Partner. Welcome to both of you, and great to have you on the show. Ganesh, how do you look at it? This shopping spree, and what are the challenges here that Tata Digital faces?
This is a milestone moment that a large traditional conglomerate has taken a big, bold step of paying premium to acquire new age companies, digital companies. Normally not done in India because people like to build it on their own. They don't like to acquire loss-making companies, which is not EPS accretive because people don't like it. So this is a very welcome move and a very bold move. very clearly the world is moving online. The COVID has only accelerated it. Online commerce makes a lot of sense because it's several orders of magnitude cheaper to sell online in a vast country like India than to build tens of thousands of stores. You have seen people like Kishore Biani and all struggling with that. India is still very early in the game, and it makes sense for large industrial companies like Tata and Reliance to bet on this sector. Now that they already have done traditional retails and can leverage all the learning and strengths and store they have built over the years. Indian economy, needless to say, is one of the fastest growing in the world. Indian consumer market is one of the largest. US and China are also a huge market. They are fully developed. So this is great to see this happening. Also, I like it because it gives, when they go IPO in India, it gives the ability for an Indian retail investor to participate in the growth. Otherwise, one of my pet peeves have been all the value creation has accumulated, the capital appreciation has gone into foreign funds and foreign investors. Now with Paytm, Zomato going public in India, with potentially Tata Digital also will go public in India, it's a hugely positive development. And we have also seen that this answers the question, where are the exits in India? How will loss-making companies ever make money? How will they exit? All of that has been done. Super app now, in my opinion, is a completely different story. That unfortunately, China has really confused everyone. WeChat, for instance, is big because messaging is at the core of it, and messaging is the highest frequency activity consumers indulge in. Equivalent of WeChat in India is WhatsApp. Now, how the super app is going to help in India is a question that we need to answer. Tencent, for example, used tens and hundreds of millions of users who live on WeChat to build a super app. They added gaming, they added commerce, they added payments, they had ticketing, almost everything. The users and usage was already there to start building the app. So a super app really requires a core functionality that is super high frequency. Messaging is the best. Payment is slightly less so. Commerce is not frequent except in fresh fruits and vegetables category. And that's where I think this big basket acquisition makes sense. Medicine acquisition makes sense. Just adding a lot of categories into one app doesn't really solve the problem. Core problem of acquiring millions of users still remains, and consumers can always order what they want on individual app. So that really is the question. So how are you going to build a super app in India? Okay, right, where WeChat is not there, but WhatsApp, of course, is there. So Facebook investment in Reliance makes sense in light of the WhatsApp being the super app. But still, very early stage, lot to play out in this particular space.
No, so but you raised a very key point, because all this talk of a super app is, and you're right, we borrowed from what we saw in China. That's not necessarily going to be the strategy in India, where it's a very scattered kind of a usage pattern that we're seeing among people. Rehan Yar Khan, do you think that's the big challenge? Tata Digital may acquire all of these exciting businesses. They all will have their own user base, of course. But how do you put it all together? And how do you bring more and more people on one platform and let them transition smoothly from one service to another?
Yeah, great question, Antara. So, so let's look at Tata's acquisitions, right? They've acquired Big Basket, which was a leader, but the other two acquisitions are actually not leaders, right? They were distress companies, which they've acquired. Now they need to ride their leader, which is Big Basket, and cross-pollinate into the other two companies, and then maybe go on adding some more. If you remember, way back in the past, they'd also acquired Carrot Lane, which is the Tanishq had done that, which is the jewelry retailer. So maybe they'll integrate that, and then they'll pick up a few more. So that seems to be the strategy, and I think it's interesting what Ganesh said, that fruits and vegetables is the high frequency product. So I go and I buy one, I pay top dollar and I buy one company which has got the high frequency, and then I get a string of companies which were not leaders, but I sort of use their brand and their back end to deliver that product, and then I have this high repeat app maybe, or I cross-pollinate across sites, even if it's not one app, I cross-market to my user base. And that's how somehow I think they're going to play it out. Now, on the other side, getting Mukesh in is very interesting. It's an acknowledgement to say that, okay, man, we don't really have the chops. We're going to get someone like you on board to do this. So Walmart had done something very similar. If you followed that story, they bought a company called Jet.com, right, which was a kind of a rival to Amazon. But in those days, Walmart wasn't a great rival to Amazon. So they acquired this company, which was a small company, which had this very dynamic CEO, and they integrated him, and he really, for 3-4 years before he left, he really built out the Walmart e-business, right? And I think that gave them the foundation to come and compete with Amazon. So that is possibly, a playbook that we are seeing coming together over here. But clearly a tough one because you're like you said, a lot of competition from a lot of giants.
Yeah, no, so that's the thing. How will the competition with the giants play out? Ganesh, you've seen the Amazon platform now trying to, build more and more traction with users across the board. We know that Reliance is getting into the game, and that's where the Facebook investment and the WhatsApp link becomes very, very important. How will Tata Digital ensure that all these acquisitions actually make sure that they're in the race with these other giants?
No, so I think firstly, like I mentioned, we have just scratched the surface in this entire retail sector. So there is a lot of headroom. So I don't see competition where if you go back a few years, when Amazon entered India, people said Flipkart is finished and how will Flipkart compete and all that stuff. Both of them grew tremendously and they are still growing because they are not going at the cost of each other. They are going at the cost of offline coming online. And COVID has only accelerated it. So that's point number one. Two, there are two distinct ways to get product to consumers, if you look at it. One is using Amazon, Flipkart kind of national distribution where products can be shipped anywhere in the country from warehouses, large national thing. The other one is hyperlocal distribution, like DoorDash, Big Basket, Swiggy, where products are shipped from a nearby dark existing store. So most of the products can be delivered either method through, though the fresh products, fruits and vegetables, restaurant food can only be delivered by hyperlocal companies. Now, so these are two different companies. The moment you go hyperlocal, it means you cannot do one national strategy. You have to take on city by city. You have to go neighborhood by neighborhood. You have to fight with your competitor in each city separately. So automatically, it's almost like you're, say, schools business. You can have one great school in Delhi and one great school in Chennai, and there's no, it's not that one school will cater to everybody because it's a physical school. You have to do that stuff. So both requires huge amount of capital. I think there is enough room for everybody to grow, to be able to build their businesses. So I don't see a challenge of competition eating into it. Obviously, you have to stitch this together. You have to build the right culture. You have to be able to ensure that the customer keeps coming back. And you have to win each of the local battle in that. Just take an international example. What is the biggest, hottest thing that's happening abroad? You see companies like DoorDash, okay, $40 billion US company. Started off as food delivery and is now in groceries. It's also onboarding local stores in other categories. Macy's for fashion as an example. Okay, right? And if you look at it, in future, they can add something like Best Buy for electronics, Staples for office products, millions of local stores that are product that Amazon has and more. Now tell me, isn't it more efficient to deliver electronics, fashion from an existing local store than to do it on your own, carry inventory, build large warehouses, invest in nationwide logistics networks? So that entire gamut is open now for Tata or for Reliance to be able to say, I'm going to do a lot more with this. And
Yes,
Ram made a very interesting point. By a big basket, start with Big Basket and add it to this. So look at it like this. DoorDash and not Amazon. Amazon, of course, is great. Amazon will grow. But look at it. Amazon is making money from AWS. It's not making money in retail. DoorDash is a $40 billion company in retail. So if you look at it, there is great opportunity in the hyperlocal model. On the national model, Flipkart, Amazon are there. Large, you may have a couple of more large players, Reliance and Tata can become big, but the rest of the areas are still fully and completely open. So competition really not the issue. Taking share from offline is the issue, and trying to leverage.
There is a lot of space, a lot of headroom. But let me look at it from another point of view. Got it. Let me look at it from another point of view. And Rehan, let me come to you here on this. What about from the point of view of all of these retail companies? They have now become the cat's whiskers, extremely valuable. Everyone is vying for them. And what is the kind of potential and valuations that some of these companies will see?
Netra, we called it, right? We all of us, VCs and investors said 10 years ago, e-commerce is the future. And you guys told us, no, it's making losses. And now see, right? It's come around, right? So because it's the convenience, it's the quality, it's the service, it's the economics, it's the footprint. It's just so many things. It's this ability to cross-market, right, which the physical stores can't do. This whole thing that we in the industry call the LTV, the lifetime value. You can go on increasing it. I have your email ID, WhatsApp address. You're visiting my store. I can market you other stuff. So the future is certainly very heavily E, right? Because it's just a new superior model in many ways. Time. I mean, you really have the horse competing against the car here, right? It's that kind of an industrial revolution that has taken place. And deservedly so, the car has to race ahead and win this race and be the dominant mode of transport, just like, what is happening over here. So e-commerce, e-businesses will become dominant going forward. And that is necessary. That's life, that's change, that's the revolution that is upon us.
Absolutely. Rehan, thank you for that. You were speaking to Tamanna Inamdar on the India Development Debate. Thank you so much for your inputs on the show. Ganesh, pleasure speaking with you as always.